Hello, this is Mark Smith with Family Tree Counseling Associates. I'm going to be speaking today on the subject of romantic love heals childhood wounds. This week I went to my writing group and I go to get inspired and get challenged to be a better writer. And there was a prompt given based on a poem by one of the world's greatest poets, Mary Oliver. It was a poem called At the Pond. It was about severity in nature that happens at times. And then I sort of riffed off of that to speak in my writing about the severity of Mother Nature and the severity of romantic love. But before I get to that, I want to read this poem because it sort of captures how life can be severe, not only as people, but in nature and with animals. One summer, I went every morning to the edge of a pond where a huddle of just hatched geese would paddle to me and clamber up the marshy slope and over my body, peeping and staring. Such sweetness every day, which the grown ones watched for whatever reason serenely. Not there, however, but here's where the story begins. Nature has many mysteries. Some of them are severe. 5 of the young geese grew heavy of chest and bold of wing, while the 6 waited and waited in its gauze feathers, its body that would not grow, and then it would fall. Then it was fall, my bad. And this is what I think everything is all about. The way I was glad for those 5 and 2 that flew away. And the way I hold in my heart the wingless one that had to stay. Mother Nature can be cruel at times, and it seems like it's cruel, like she's cruel and severe, as she methodically exacts untold psychological pounds of flesh upon innocent little children as payment for the sins of their fathers. Whatever wickedness lies in the heart of man is allowed full reign to take its toll and do its damage. That is bad enough, but the worst part, as you know, about life and the wounds of a child is that whatever energy ravaged us as little lambs becomes our unquestioned and unchangeable destiny in love and marriage. A wedding ceremony for 2 naive young people is in all truth 2 lambs being led to the slaughter. It may seem that Mother Nature has no empathy or compassion, that she is a bitter or harsh mistress, but that is not true. These brutal reenactments, from growing up with wounds in your childhood to marrying somebody who's made out of the same psychological DNA, these brutal reenactments are the only way for Mother Nature to reach us and to open our hearts and to ultimately bring grace and depth and emotional healing. The system is harsh, but the intent is ultimately kind and loving and gracious. So I was asked then in the prompt to write a poem of sorts, and I am not Mary Oliver by a long stretch, and she's brilliant, and I'm well-meaning. So my poem isn't about geese, it's about love, and it's about the severity of love that happens, that always surprises us when it gets harsh and severe, usually in midlife. And this is what I think love is all about. Love is about finishing your childhood business. Love is about being as naked and vulnerable as you have ever been. Love is about courageously embracing the pain of your destiny. Love is about taking responsibility for your choices rather than mistakenly blaming your particular bad actor. Love is a punch in the face. Love is a stab in the back. Love is an arrow to the heart. Love is healing. Love is the foundation of families and all that we hold sacred and dear. Love is worth all the pain and all the tears. Love is fair and equitable, and it makes a whole lot of sense. If you know that this mystery of love, if you know what it's all about, if you understand that you always marry exactly the right person, and that it is always fair and it's always good. People say that love is a mystery. Love is not a mystery. Love is actually extremely simple to figure out. When I do feedback sessions, which I do for every couple that comes in to see me, one of the highlights of the feedbacks, I think is the most important section of the feedback, is when I write on the board your dad, your mom, your spouse, or maybe there's a former girlfriend or a former spouse I put in there, and I just put down what was described to me, and then we see the patterns. And there's always patterns. We always marry somebody made out of the same psychological DNA as the people who hurt us the most. So I tell people, once I get that up there, your dad abandoned you, your mom criticized you, and you picked a husband who does both. And I tell them, this is love to you. And they go, oh my God, you're kidding me. And I say, no, this is love to you. Love is not a mystery. It's very simple. It is just tailor-made for each individual person. So romantic love gives you the opportunity to heal your childhood wounds, but as your spouse brings you pain, and as you are wounded, and as your marriage blows up, don't miss the point. The point isn't that your spouse is a jerk. Your point isn't that your spouse is a bad guy. That's not the point. That they may be acting bad. The point is you picked them, and you picked them for a reason, and you had unerring radar, and that's what drew you to them. And the point is, you married your dad or you married your mom. There's a myth that says we're more impacted by opposite sex parents. We're not. That's a complete and total myth. We're impacted by the people who hurt us. That's the issue, not the gender of the parent. It's how much did they hurt you. That's the issue. If every couple and every marriage counselor in America really understood the purpose and the meaning of romantic love, the divorce rate percentage would be in the single digits. Your marital pain isn't your problem. It's your cure. It's your therapy. It's your salvation. Who knew, when you felt all this pain and your hurt had that person's name all over it, you looked out from behind your psychological defense mechanism and they're holding a smoking gun. Who knew that really, that's God's plan. God thought of this system. I like to use the phrase Mother Nature, but I believe it's God's plan. And I've often said, if I arrive into heaven, the first question I'll ask God is, could we have done it any other way? Could we have done it any other way? Because it's so harsh to experience abuse in childhood and then be tricked into marrying somebody who's abusive. We have this enmeshment thing where your brain chemistry changes, and you get stoned on love with who? With somebody who's a very cleverly disguised version of the people who hurt you the most. That's with who. And then you get brutalized, you get your butt kicked on an emotional level, on every level. And the people that find out about this while they're still married, and both people can do the work, can save your marriage and rebuild your marriage. It's a mind-blowing paradigm. And if a marriage counselor doesn't operate from the paradigm of you married, your unresolved issues, they shouldn't be practicing, frankly. I don't think they're doing anybody any good. They're missing the point. They're handling the case incorrectly because they're trying to fix something that Mother Nature designed to be broken and to be painful. They're getting in the way. They're not really doing you any good. So embrace the pain of your marriage. Lean into it. Squeeze every bit of self-knowledge and growth that you can out of the pain of your marriage. Or if you've gone through a divorce, squeeze all the pain and learning and insight you can out of that divorce. Don't waste a perfectly awful divorce. And don't waste your time trying to fix or improve your marriage. It's the wrong approach. Focus instead on healing the wounds of your childhood. That is why you picked the person that you picked in the first place. This concept might be new to some of you. If it is, go to Family Tree Counseling on YouTube. Go to our channel. There are several videos on there that explain this. That I talk about marriage and what the purpose of marriage. One is called Love is Too Supposed to Hurt. So check that one out. And any other of the videos about marriage and the purpose of marriage, and that you're not a victim. And you'll become quite insightful on the purpose of marriage. I had a new client this week, all the way on Skype, all the way from Australia. And she had watched every video, over 170 videos. And I asked her what the problem is in her marriage. And she started out by saying, well, from a non-victim-y perspective, blah, blah, blah. I about fell off my chair. I've been doing this for 28 years, and nobody had ever started their therapy by saying, I'm not a victim. And that's a beautiful thing, where people can watch a video and have their paradigm shifted before they ever start therapy. So if you haven't heard this, you could also read Harville Hendricks' book, Getting the Love You Want. He also expounds upon this. I was expounding upon it before I came across his book 25 years ago. But I think it's the best book ever written on marriage counseling. Harville Hendricks, Getting the Love You Want. So do join our channel. And I do have a book on shame that was just released on Wednesday. And shame is either being highly defensive in your relationship or beating yourself up with a really harsh, critical voice. And if you suffer from shame, and just about all of us suffer from shame, just go to our website, familytreecounseling.com, and there'll be a couple of links that you can go to buy the book. And the book is called Healing Toxic Shame Through Recovery. Also wanted to say that Skype sessions work every bit as well as sessions in person. This week I had really crystal clear, effective sessions with people in Australia, Belize, Alabama, California, Montana, Maryland, Florida. And if you don't have a local therapist that you trust and believe in, that you think can just blow the doors off of the denial and the lack of insight in your marriage, I do have some limited availability. My schedule is really filling up because the paradigm that we share, it's magic. It's very, very powerful. And if people get a hold of it, a couple gets a hold of it, it can change everything if they're open to the process. So if you would like to work with me directly, just send me an email. Doing Skype is, you can be up and running in less than 5 minutes. There are some people out there that just aren't technology driven. It's like maybe 1 out of 100. It might be a little hard for you, but for most people, you can be up and running in 5 minutes, and it works like a charm. It works like I'm sitting in your living room. I've got local people here who prefer not to make the drive, and they Skype in from home, and it works fine. So encourage you to do that, and do download the book on shame, and visit our website, familytreecounseling.com. We have many blogs, many articles, and links to the videos. So thank you very much for watching. My hope for you is that you really might gain epiphanies into this process of changing how you think, and embracing the pain of your childhood, not seeing it as the fault of your spouse. Really, there's 5 qualities that I look for in people, and if you have these 5 qualities, you can re-engineer your personality from the ground up. And if your partner has these qualities, we can almost perform miracles, given a long time. Very slowly, but you really can rebuild the marriage from the ground up. So the 5 qualities are: both people have to be motivated, not just to save their marriage, but they have to be motivated to really work hard on themselves because they have a clear vision of how broken they are. They have to be teachable. As you watch these videos and read my ebooks, does it change you? I got a text this morning from a guy in Florida who just read the Shame book. And he said, I had an epiphany that's just blown me away. And I've been talking with my wife all morning about, and I can't wait to talk with you in our Skype session this week. He's very teachable, and he's had an epiphany that's changed his life. The third thing is you got to have a lot of pain, and you got to embrace it. And it can't be victim-y pain. It can't be whiny, venty, victim-y pain. It has to be, I got things to work on, and this hurts, and let me tell you about it. And instead of drinking or drugging or sexing or working too much to feel, you slow down and you feel. The fourth thing is being able to trust. And that's why I love these videos so much, because people get a sense of who I am. I think you get the sense of my style and my heart. And people feel like they already know me before they contact me. And they feel very comfortable, and they've heard a million stories that I've told them. So it really builds that trust. Not just myself, but our whole staff at Family Tree is starting to make videos. Kathy Henry, Christy Alosio, Javon Lockhart, Andy Holzman, Jerry Wise. We're making videos, and they're very good. And I train them, and they're very talented, very experienced therapists. So click on their videos and watch them as well. And then the last quality that you're going to need is follow through, and that is read the books that your therapist tells you to read. Go to group therapy. Local people can do that. I've even had people express an interest in Skyping into group, which oddly enough works. I don't know if it'd work if maybe we could start a Skype group on gotomeeting.com and have 10 of us meet online. Who knows? So thank you for watching today. God bless you, and may you find a lot of insight and a lot of healing in your marriage. Take care.